On Brewed, we love taking you to breweries that have been open for a long time, places that are brand new, and places that are under construction. This is the first time, Salvador, we've ever been to a place that's a physical place, but really, I mean, as we're standing here, this is more of an idea and more of a concept than a place people can head to right away.
Correct, yes.
But, I mean, coming soon.
Coming soon, in 2 months,
So
spring of this year.
We are in Eldridge, and we are at the site of what will be the Granary. It's called the Granary because we're in the shadow, right?
We're in the shadow of the big grain towers
Right.
in downtown Eldridge. We believed in the beginning that the middle building was a granary, then we found out that it wasn't.
Wait a minute. So it's going to be named a Granary because you're next to a granary, but also you thought when you bought it was a granary, and then you found out it wasn't a granary.
No, but we're going to work on putting up a silo at some point
Okay,
and have a grain
so
tower.
at some point the name will make even more sense.
Yes.
But you're here in Eldridge now. Eldridge, to my knowledge, does not have a brewery at this moment in time.
No, they do not.
And
we are the
that
first.
is something that you are going to change.
Correct.
Let's get into the why of that. You're someone who makes your own beer,
Yes.
and you've been making beer for some time.
I've been making beer probably about 8 years.
And now the plan is to make beer here, but you're going to have a lot more going on. I mean, the
Yes.
brewery is, at least in my opinion, first and foremost. The idea is that you're going to have a place for people to come morning, noon, and night.
Yes.
Now, the night speaks more to this show, but in addition to being a brewery, you're
Yes.
going to be brewing coffee.
Yes, we will be roasting our own coffee. We'll be a coffee shop, and we'll also be a brewery. And we put in a grill so that we can make our own food.
So food and beer
And
coffee.
Yes.
And you have other plans for this space too, because there's a lot
Yes.
going on back here.
Yes, so initially we're starting out with this first building, and we're putting in a drive-through just to make it easy for people if they need to come get their lunch or their breakfast, or whatever. You know,
Right.
pick up a growler to go with some dinner. We're gonna have a drive-through, and so we're gonna start out being a coffee house and a brewery and food, and eventually the dream is to move the tap room into the middle building, and eventually create an event center / meeting room, brew house in the very back of the building. Realistically, I think we're gonna see how we grow, and that'll dictate where we go and how we do it.
So the better the small brewery and coffee house does, then the better everything.
Yes,
That's
right.
kind of your launching pad.
It's our launching pad, and then at the same time, we're kind of leaving it up to where life takes us, because we've had some interest in people wanting to lease space from us. And so with our whole concept of turning this into a destination point,
Right.
you know, whether a bike shop went in or a distillery or just something else to complement, you know, for us to have farmers market and have people come hang out, we'll see where it goes.
So this is kind of a lifestyle district that you're building,
Yes, yes.
rather than simply a brewery and
Correct.
a coffee house.
Right.
Do you know more about coffee or more about beer?
At this point, I would say I'm 50-50.
Really? What are the
So,
similarities?
The
would you say?
similarities?
Sure.
Well,
Like,
well,
how does your work as a brewer inform what you do with your coffee?
Well, what we want to do here is we want to concentrate on all things craft. And so the way that they would translate is we're going to try to play around with what kind of roasting profile we want to have for our coffees.
Right.
And then with the beers, we're going to be playing around with the different brewing styles. One of the things that we're planning on doing with the beer here is to make beers particular to people or for businesses in the community.
Now, if you're going to be roasting your own beans with your own coffee shop and making beer, it
Yes.
seems to me that some sort of coffee stout would be,
Well, obviously, yes.
but you're not in a hurry to do that.
No, we're just going to play around and see what feels good and then start releasing items as we feel good about them and then releasing them.
And when we get started here, when people are able to come this summer
Yes.
to when the coffee shop / brewery is open,
Yes.
the idea is that you'll have a handful of your beers and also some other beers that you like from around
Correct.
the region, the area.
Yes.
Can't say other
Yeah.
breweries in Eldridge because you're it.
Right. Right. No, we'll be selling other people's beer. Hopefully, more local than not, plus our beers. And then the same thing with the beans. We're going to be using other people's beans to create our coffees, and then slowly transitioning into more of our beers and then more of our beans.
When this space became available,
Yes.
you instantly thought brewery, coffee house,
Yes.
or did you just jump on it because of its location, or I want to kind of know what the
Okay.
dream has been all this time. This isn't something that just occurred to you last week.
No, I've gone through several iterations of me wanting to have a nightclub when I was younger, to then have a bar, and then eventually it's turned into combining a lot of my passions and our family's passions into just a coffee house brewery destination. And it turns out to be the perfect property because I have space to grow and
Right.
we're right on the bike trail.
Is it cool if we kind of walk around?
Yeah,
because
let's do
we are
it.
very much in the idea stage. This is going to be more of a visualization. Now, this is the first space that's going to be developed, and this is where we'll be
Yes.
hanging out this late spring, early summer.
Yes.
And this is where the coffee house / brewery will be happening,
Yes.
the Granary. So the events area and the additional beer garden, that's
Yeah.
a quite possibly maybe.
Yes.
But it's not the certainty that the Granary
Right,
here
this
is
is
going
going
to
to be.
We can't get in his back door, can we?
No, actually there used to be a donkey that lived there named Marvin.
There was a donkey named Marvin.
Yeah, that lived on this property and they kept him in there.
Salvador, the next time somebody comes to talk to you about this place, lead with the story about Marvin the donkey.
We're thinking about getting one.
A donkey.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then this was Marvin's place. Yeah, it definitely looks like Marvin was here. And then this is something we don't see usually at breweries. You've got a concrete roof here. The
Yes.
ceiling is concrete.
They used to fill LP tanks here.
In the front of the place, right by the bike trail, you're telling me you've got plans to use this space.
Yes, we're planning on setting up a couple picnic tables out here for people to sit outside and relax.
So you get on your bike, you stop, you have a beer, you have a coffee, you have a scone.
Yeah. Sandwich.
He's thought of it all. We've really never been to a brewery this early in its idea, conception. This is new territory, so it's the Granary in Eldridge, and eventually this is going to be a thing.